G'day guys, it's Scott Alexander King here from Animal Dreaming. I just thought I would drop by and wish you all a happy Chinese Lunar New Year, February 10th. It's going to be the beginnings of the Year of the Dragon, and it's more precisely the Year of the Wood Dragon. And the energies of the wood dragon are quite lovely actually. They speak of imagination and creativity, so if those are your gifts or those are the things that you would like to develop or you would like to see nurture you this year, then this is the perfect opportunity. The dragon in the lineup of all the animals that are a part of the Chinese zodiac, and you know, these are the animals that responded to the call put out by Buddha, if you like, for a bit of a meeting, a bit of a chat. The dragon is, out of all those animals, the only animal that's not a physical animal of our world. It's a celestial animal, it's a mystical animal. And because of that, it sort of adds a little bit of extra charm, I think, to this animal. And, you know, energetically, it's quite a magical animal. I've got written here that it's, because of it's a celestial animal, it's unrivaled in its talent and brilliance. So it's an animal that is really revered. It's an animal that, if you were to harness that energy, the benefits could be astronomical. By some, Caleb is born in the Year of the Dragon, but he's a metal dragon. He's a golden dragon, and apparently that is quite. It's quite a big thing. But to be born in the Year of the Wood Dragon, it just talks about creativity and imagination, which, you know, this is something that I think the world needs right now. People who are willing to listen to their imagination and allow that to help them shape a wonderful path for themselves and others. What a great gift to be able to bring. So if you are someone who yearns to make a difference to the planet or the world, this is going to be a year that's going to support that, because of the creativity aspect and the encouragement to use or tap into your imagination. So according to the Chinese tradition, I've got it written here, the dragons, well, we all know they're auspicious, they're mystical creatures, they're magical creatures, they're supreme beings, if you like, because they're, you know, lots of different cultures refer to them as being like creator spirits. So there's a lot going on with them, but they, according to the Chinese tradition, they're grouped into elements. They're elementally grouped, and again, that's something that I those who know me and my work would know that's how I look at the dragons. I see them as being elementally based or inspired or governed, if you like. In the Chinese tradition, I've got it written down here, there's 5 elements, as is with the traditional, the Western correspondences. There's five elements, metal, water, wood, fire and earth. So metal is, the messages there with the metal dragon would strengthen and resolve. The water dragon brings with it responsiveness and persuasion, the gifts of, you know, persuasion. The fire dragon is about passion and dynamic energy, which makes perfect sense when you think about the element fire and what that's capable of. The earth element, it says, is the dragon of the earth element is about stability, focus, commitment and achievement, while the wood dragon, which is what this year is, as I said before, is about imagination and creativity. So it's going to be a year, as I said, a year of creativity, offering opportunities and new ideas. Now, how brilliant is that? So to make sure that your year is going to be abundant and everything that you dream it to be, there's some little hints, some little things you can do to guarantee that as much as possible for yourself. So the lucky numbers to look out for this year apparently are 1, 6 and 7. The lucky colours are gold, silver, light grey, those metallic-y sort of colours to attract the abundance of what the dragon is promising, I'm assuming. To bring the flowers of the bleeding heart vine, which is just beautiful, and snapdragons, one of my favourites. Bring those flowers into your home. to encourage the energies of the wood dragon and the earthy qualities and the groundedness, which really are qualities and traits of the creative person. Being able to stay focused on your own creative ventures and being able to, you know, have the courage to turn what's in your imagination into reality in a creative way. It takes someone who's, you know, to me, yeah, grounded, practical, all those sorts of energies, like the wood element. But you know, in order to avoid any confusion or trick, there's also some colours to avoid and some numbers to avoid. So the colours that are not unlucky but best to avoid are blues and greens, and the numbers to avoid are 3 and 8. So I guess we're talking there about choosing numbers for, you know, if you're into the lotto or whatever. I guess that's what we're talking about. Or if you're looking to buy a house, looking to get a new car, I guess they're the numbers to look for, the number plate, you know, if you're getting a new number plate, or you're looking at the year it was made or whatever, I guess. So they're sort of lucky numbers. Right, so that's traditionally the qualities of this dragon. But when I think of dragon, again, I go through the elements. I think of air dragons as being not that big. The dragon that's ruled by the air element, I see that as being like a size of a hawk, which would allow it to, if it wanted to, perch on your wrist like a falconer's hawk. I see the air dragon being about new ideas and opportunity, sort of, you know, all the things that we hold in our head, because the air element rules the mind, it rules the head. So, you know, I can see this as being a dragon that's going to, you know, help inspire new ideas, birth new beginnings, you know, good at contracts, all that sort of stuff. So the air dragon would support people who watches over people who are like to be a little bit argumentative perhaps, or who like to make a point, or who know a lot of factual information and are more than happy to share. Think about what the mind is all about and how that rules us, and the air element, and it's about oxygen and breath and new beginnings and opportunities to, you know, start afresh. So when I think about the fire dragon, I think of a creature that's you know, fierce. You know, if they can breathe fire. Oh, the air dragon, by the way, physically I see that as having wings, but not generally. I don't see them as having 4 legs, because they're often in the air. They don't need to come down to land that much, except to rest perhaps. But I picture them in my mind like swallows, just darting about and never really stopping, sort of encouraging clear thought and communication, all those sorts of things. So with the fire dragon, I see that as being quite the opposite, quite large. No wings. I don't see the fire dragons having wings. I see that being just a creature that's purely gifted with the ability to breathe fire and withstand extreme heat itself. This is an animal, I believe, that supports those who are passionate and who are driven, who have ambition, who aren't scared to take calculated risks. I see this as the animal that watches over us during our teenage years, you know, when we let fire in the belly and we know everything but nothing at the same time. I see the fire dragon being about, you know, breaking through restrictions and overcoming problems, and it's totally the element that, you know, you've got to be the most watchful of in lots of ways, because, you know, a little bit of fire, you know, when it's contained to a candle or a match or whatever, can light a room. A little bit more fire, you know, you could warm your hands, make that fire just a little bit bigger. That fire can cook your dinner, keep you warm. But if you let that fire break its confines and take on a mind of its own, the air element is more than happy to help give the fire energy that extra boost that it needs to break free. And, you know, it can not just light the room and warm your hands, but it will cook your dinner and cook you as well. You know, that's how the fire element works. It's unforgiving. It's once it sets its mind to something. So you think about that, how that rules some people. You know, you think, gosh, I can understand how fire people would have trouble calming down or cooling down after an argument or a heated discussion. That's where those expressions come from. So, you know, I just think about the fire and how it rules that. So you know, when I think of the water dragon, I think of an animal it's again an opposite to both those things. It's an animal that is very calm and peaceful and intuitive and driven by its thoughts and its feelings rather than its ideas and conscious mind. And it's more about the gut and the feelings within. It's an animal that encourages us to meditate, to be still, to be quiet, to go within, to question, you know, our achievements, but to not dwell on the past. You know, it's an animal that gives us the foresight to shed and release a lot of stuff so that we can move forward and start afresh. And I think of people who are ruled by the water dragon. I think of people who are quite emotional, or who are really driven by their emotions, or who are highly intuitive, or, you know, just such a powerful creature to have on your side. See them as being like a giant serpent, if you like, because they don't fly, they don't breathe fire, you know, and it's the only element really that knows how to tame or to temper the ferocity of the fire dragon. And with the water element there, it's the air element, the air dragon. When they get together, they can cause huge storms and tropical, you know, typhoons and all sorts of things when they get together and they're having a bad day. But you think about, you know, the fun that we can have on the ocean when we've got on a yacht or something like that, where the air is guiding us and pushing us forward. So I like to think about the dragons as working together, and I like to see them, you know, how they might influence each other and our lives as well. So when I call upon the earth dragon, I see an animal that's quite large, often blind because they live underground, got no need for the sight because they don't come above ground that often, so they don't breathe fire, they don't have to fly, they don't really, except when there's lots of rain, I guess they wouldn't really encounter the water element too much, but they're in the earth, all about the gems and the stones and the riches that are found there. So this is an animal of abundance and prosperity and security and stability. Encourages us to work hard and to see where that leads us, or to, if you're not going to work, if you don't see working hard as being a priority, just working clever, listening to your own self, your own guidance, your own wisdom, listening to what's going to make your future abundant for you personally rather than what anyone else might think. It's an animal that encourages us to invest in ourselves, and knowing that with investment there's usually a reward. So you think of the seeds being planted in spring and how they, you know, grow and they get harvested in the fall or the autumn, and then, you know, stored through the winter and then regrown again. Think of that cycle. Well, the earth element's all about that. It's about, you know, planting those seeds and watching them germinate and grow and prosper, and then bringing and harvesting the rewards eventually. So it's a powerful animal to have on your side. You know, as I said, I see it as being like a large, almost like a blue-tongued lizard, if you like, a giant skink that just lives underground and guards them, watches over the gems and the stones. So it's an animal of security and grounding and prosperity and all those wonderful things. And then the fifth element, of course, which is spirit or ether in my world. I can't help think past. I cannot think past the rainbow serpent, the great rainbow serpent, the creator spirit that helped during the dream time shape the landscape. And, you know, if we call upon that energy and ask it to support and guide us personally, I can't see why we can't use that same wisdom that comes with that creature to reshape our inner landscape, do a lot of inner work, to look at our shadow self and heal and, you know, come to terms with past wrongs and hurts and pains. I think that's the best gift that any spirit, you know, representative could help us. And I think the rainbow serpent energy is perfect for that giant rainbow dragon, if you like, that arcs across the sky and is most often seen directly after rain. I think it's wonderful. So 2024, it's going to be predicted, it's predicted to be a powerful, endless, a year of endless energy, vitality. If you're, you know, prepared to do what it takes to ensure your dreams coming true, so about tempering your ego, it's about putting your arrogance to the side a little bit and allowing others to have an opinion and a say, or that's how creativity works. It's about having ideas flow around and see where they land, you know. So it's about being true to yourself this year. So if you can make that pact with yourself to stay true to yourself, maintaining a true and focused mind, not losing faith in your abilities, your creative self and your imagination, allow them to guide you this year. Yeah, and as I said about tempering your arrogance and your ego, terribly important, because the last thing you're going to want this year is to have your creativity blocked, to have arguments or, you know, unrests settling in, which are the first things to go are your creativity and your trust in your imagination when you're having a challenging time. So it's just making sure this year is as calm and still and peaceful as you can ensure it can be, so that you're, you know, so these are the things this is what's going to happen if you do those things. If you allow yourself to stay focused, true to yourself, keep your ego and your arrogance in check, be gentle on yourself, the things that you're going to be allowing, like you're going to be following your dreams. That's the big thing for this year, is allowing yourself to follow your dreams. Listen to your intuition. That's what's going to be that creativity and that imagination becomes realization, and with your intuition kicking and guiding you. It's like it's such a powerful resource to have, and this is the year to really ensure that kicks in for you. But you know what, even though we're encouraging you to follow your dreams and listen to your intuition, you've got to still remain grounded. You've got to be practical. You've got to be mindful of your responsibilities of this year. Don't assume someone else can deal with that, because it's just not going to happen. And remember the promises that you've made, promises that you've promised to keep to others, but also those commitments to yourself and to others. And if you can do all those things, maintaining, particularly, by the way, if you're born in the year of the dragon, any of the years of the dragon, because this year could be quite challenging for you, because the Chinese god of age apparently finds the energy, because it clashes with his energy. He finds dragon people offensive when they're born in the year of the dragon. So to avoid his wrath, the suggestions I've just given about, you know, maintaining a true and a focused mind and being true to your authentic self, remaining grounded, being compassionate for all those, but your imagination and creativity, whatever it takes to nurture those two qualities. Doesn't matter what dragon you are. That will definitely help your year ahead, and it's also going to nurture everyone else as well. So in the same light. So look, I hope that paints a picture for you for this year, the dragon, the wood dragon. Just wanted to show you my creature teacher cards, which my latest releases, if you like. There's a dragon card in there, so I pulled the dragon card out earlier, and this is the dragon card. I don't know if you can see that, if it's clear enough to see, but there's a little affirmation here at the bottom, and the affirmation says, I have everything I need. Everything I need. And that's your motto for this year. Everything you need, you have. You have everything you need. It might not be physical in the room around you, but it's definitely in your heart. And if you can imagine something, there's no reason why you can't birth that into being this year. That's the energy of the year. It's the energy of the wood dragon. So let's see if we can't make that happen. I have everything I need. That's the affirmation from the dragon card in my creature teacher cards. All right, so thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to know more about me, visit animaldreaming.com. Check out the creature teacher cards while you're there, and have a great year. Happy New Year, and may the the wood dragon support and nurture you and your path ahead this year. Have a great year, everyone.